That intro was very relaxing.
It was so relaxing.
Hey, I'm Heidzalyn with Austin Entertainment Management here with Swearwords, my co-host. How you doing, Mike?
What's up? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm feeling really relaxed after that intro.
Yeah, that was like meditation. I really liked it.
So anyway, still playing around with the fun features we have on this platform. Anyway, so today we've got a really awesome episode because we have just launched a Facebook group for anyone who's working in the music industry. That's an accountability group. Because one of the biggest complaints that we hear is that I'm going to work on this project and then I just didn't get to it. I just kept putting it off. And so the most powerful thing that you can do to overcome that is be accountable to those things on your to-do list that are really important to you and figure out what it is that's stealing your time. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Excellent.
Of course, first we're going to talk about what events are going on. And at any time, you can go to hellisthebomb.com/events to see what we have going on every week. But I want to highlight a few things for you. On Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to get to meet Mind's Eye. They are playing at Pharmapalooza June 9th through the 11th. It's going to be a really awesome festival. And what's cool about talking to this particular band is the two creators of Pharmapalooza are members of this band. So this was definitely a fun interview.
That's awesome.
They're a bunch of fun people. My band Mast is going to be playing at Pharmapalooza. Austin Entertainment Management is a sponsor of this festival, so we've been talking about it a whole lot. And it's just been a real fun time interviewing all of the bands. I can't wait to hang out with everybody. Oh, Mike, are you sure you can't go?
Oh, I wish I could. Oh, I wish I could.
All right, all
It's a
right.
far way away.
I'll get over it.
But you
Okay.
gotta film it. You gotta film it all and then play it on here for everyone to see.
But the problem is it's on a farm in the middle of nowhere with
There's
middle of
probably no.
nowhere like internet connection issues.
You're right. You're gonna need an old school
That's why
camera.
it's gonna be amazing. Like unplugging from technology, just like tuning into music,
Mm.
hanging out with cool people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plugging in amps. Unplug technology and plug in amps. It's the
yeah.
best thing you can do.
I definitely feel inspired. I mean, how cool would that be to just get a piece of property here in Florida and then have like a big section of the back just be like a music venue?
Oh yeah, I would have Woodstock at my house every weekend.
I know, right? Like that could be freaking awesome. Okay, like add that to the music goals. Okay. So, if you want an opportunity and you're in Jacksonville, Florida, and you want to meet with other musicians in person and have conversations about your music projects and your goals and find new people to collaborate with and learn about new music that's local, the music meetup, the monthly music meetup, Jax, is coming up on Sunday at 6 p.m. and that's going to be at Pine Studios. So you can find their Instagram information at hellisthebomb.com/events so that you can follow them and get reminders for this event. It's an awesome event.
Yeah,
So
they do good things over there. They give you snacks and stuff, and you get to communicate with other people, other creatives and stuff, and just kind of just talk about what you guys do, and maybe even meet some new friends and maybe some new collaborators. I don't know, but it's definitely worth it,
and
especially to happen to.
good location. I liked how they were kind of going around town, but now that they're doing it consistently at Pine Studios, the studio itself has like a really good atmosphere.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to just hang out
And there's a bar next door.
and there's a bar next door. So if you're
You
worried
can't beat
about
that.
being thirsty, have no fear.
Yeah.
But Mike did bring up a very good point. There are always snacks, and they're not just like normal snacks. They're very creative snacks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't know what I mean, well then good. Come to the come to the meetup and find out what I'm talking about. Okay.
You'll see.
So yeah, that's on Sunday at 6 p.m. here in Jacksonville. So today, before we get started talking about this cool new music group that we have going on, I want to talk a little bit more about what the purpose of that group is. So I think we as creatives would all agree that the number one hurdle that's getting in our way is how we think about things and the things that we're telling ourselves that we can and can't do. I've definitely noticed that if I tell myself that something is impossible, that it can't be done, my mind just shuts down any possibilities. If someone's like, well, have you tried this? It's like, nope, nope, that's just not going to work. Nope, mm-mm. And I don't even listen or entertain the idea. So this group is a place for you to dream and dream big and throw out ideas that seem absolutely crazy, outlandish, that's not going to work. And we're going to have conversation about how it could actually work.
Yeah, we're dream igniters.
Yes, that's right. An opportunity igniter is one of my titles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to teach you to do in this group. We want to teach you to be able to look at any situation, any opportunity, or any situation and see that it's an opportunity or a gift for you. So with that, I realized I forgot to get the link for you to put in the chat, Mike. So do you think that you could find the link to our group so anybody who's watching would be able to join as they're watching? So that's what it's for. It's for anyone working in the music industry that is dreaming big, that doesn't want to have conversations with people that are going to tell them that sounds hard, that's impossible. Like, we all know these things, right? It's difficult, but it doesn't have to be as difficult as everyone is making it out to be. As soon as you decide you are going to go with the way of ease and flow, no matter what it is that you're working on, it will get easier. So there have been many people in my life that have offered advice, I guess, kind of like I just said, like, if you believe it, you're going to be able to do it, you know. But when I heard it in those times, the voice in my head said, well, that sounds great. That sounds logical. That's what we want. But you're never going to get that. Or that's not for you. Or any amount of things that just add up to, nope, not you. So one of the second purposes of the group is to arm you with the tools and the processes to be able to overcome those voices. So when somebody tells you that something is possible, you don't just block it out and say, nope, I can't hear this because this isn't for me. But instead, you entertain the idea of how this could be possible in your life. So, Mike, you are currently in week 2 of one of these processes that was brought to us by Positive Intelligence. And I'm now a positive intelligence coach. So they've granted me the rights to talk about positive intelligence and their research and teach their processes. And so you're in week 2 of this now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is your number one aha insight moment this far into the program?
This far into the program, let's see. So I am only in week 2, but so far, what I'm learning and what I keep consistently using, I think the most are the PQ reps. Because although they seem like such a little piece of like the puzzle, I didn't realize how often I actually needed to do this because I constantly find myself not being presently in the moment. And ever since I've been doing the positive intelligence, I've been realizing just how often I'm not in the moment and how often like I could use the PQ reps. So like now I keep finding myself like um in any situation, just like rubbing my fingers together or like tapping my foot on the floor or just like being in the moment of trying to, and I've been using like everything. Like I'll try to see what I can smell, like what's the furthest sounds I could hear, like all the things like that, which is it really brings you back to yourself and brings you back to what you're doing in the present. And that's pretty much what I've needed, a little bit more grounding. So I feel like that's the most impactful aha thing for me so far. Because like I said, it seems like something that you can just like easily overlook. It's like, okay, yeah, you can do this and that's not that big of a deal, but like it's huge, like the amount that it actually really helps you. So I'm excited to keep learning more because now I know we're learning about the judge and more of our saboteurs. So super informative. I really like it.
Yeah, this week was the judge lesson. How
Mm-hmm.
did you like? How did you like hearing Dr. Shazad's judge yell at him? Did you see that video?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, but he's just a super interesting guy. He's really entertaining to watch.
He is. He's awesome. I love hearing his stories about his kids.
Mhm.
You see a little bit more of that as you'll get further into his book. Um, but yeah, that is an awesome insight that you see. Um, I think that it's interesting to me. Um, let's talk about a PQ rep first, because people are like, "What is a PQ rep? Like, what is this guy talking about?" And there's more information about this in our new Facebook group. So you can find out all about PQ reps. Try one out if you want to. But it's just focusing on one of your senses intently for about 2 minutes. And that's all you're focused on. And I think this far into the program, my number one realization was how long 2 minutes really can be.
Yeah.
When I started doing these PQ reps, and what's cool is there's an app to guide you through these things. So you don't have to be coming up with all of this stuff off the top of your head. Dr. Shazad gives you a good amount of PQ rep exercises to go through. So you're not coming up with this on your own. But once you do the guided exercises, eventually it does start to make sense in certain situations for you to do it. So I would be doing these guided exercises, and sometimes even still as I'm working on it, and I'll just peek at the timer like clearly a minute. It's clearly been 2 minutes at this point, and I'm only 1 minute into it. And here's the other cool part. Those people that are like, well, you weren't actually being present for that whole 2 minutes doing what you were supposed to do. But no one's perfect, and it falls right into these PQ reps, which I love this too. Your mind will wander 50% of the time. So when my mind wanders over to, oh my goodness, has it been 2 minutes yet? And I peek and it's not, I go, oh, let's go back over and pay attention to what we're supposed to be paying attention to over here.
Yeah.
This is the mental muscle that you're building up. And at first, as we're talking about it, you might be thinking, like, how is that going to help me with my music?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, I think this is a good question for you. You're only 2 weeks into the program.
Mm-hmm.
So, at the 2 week point, how do you see what you're learning here doing these PQ reps? How is that going to help you with your music?
So far from what I can understand, I think it will, well, only in the because I haven't gotten too far yet, but so far what I feel like I'm getting out of this musically is like more patience with myself and less limiting of myself. Because even with the PQ reps, like you said, it's easy to get distracted and stuff like that. So I understood that in the beginning while I was doing that, I wasn't doing it with too much purpose. I was doing it just to do it. And then that was like another saboteur of like me telling myself like, oh, well, is this really working or anything like that? And then I realized that the more that I do it, the more that it really is working despite any of the saboteurs because I'm finding the present moment. So when I relate that to my music, I can finally stop putting this imaginary time limit on myself and feeling like I have to rush everything. And if I don't figure out a riff or a note or whatever melody that I'm looking for within a certain amount of time, that I don't have to give up, that I can be patient, or I can take a couple of PQ reps, come back to myself, and then go back at it. So I've noticed less quitting on myself. So that's nice.
That's awesome. And yeah, when you start to have more empathy toward yourself, like if songwriting suddenly becomes hard and you're stuck and you're still forcing yourself through it and you're not even walking away to take a break,
Mhm.
that's a saboteur pushing you through.
Right.
And what I talk about in my workshop is the difference from operating from this left side of the brain perspective, which is where your saboteur voices are, versus the right side perspective, which is the sage. And empathy is a sage power. And a lot of times when we're talking about our creativity, we don't have nearly enough empathy for ourselves and how we're producing our creations. We're really hard on ourselves, and the judge can just go ahead and let us have it. And it doesn't have to be that way. So for me, I've found, particularly with songwriting, because that is something that in the past has been enjoyable and uncomfortable at times. Like when I'm in a state of flow and I just get a song, and all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I know what this one's about. And I just start writing the story and it just comes out. Like that doesn't happen with most songs. when it does happen, it's fun. It's
It's like
super
euphoria.
fun.
It's
It's
the
like,
best feeling.
yes, this song was meant to be, right?
Hmm.
But then there's other songs that just take the time to develop. Sometimes, like the main idea wasn't quite right, and there's something fundamental that's got to change, but you don't realize that at first because you've got to hear it a certain amount of times before it catches you a different way.
Yeah.
And I would just be so hard on myself, like, oh, another week of practice, and I still don't have this verse written. Like, what's wrong with you? Other people would just come up with stuff on the spot, like,
Yeah.
and that would make me want to not work on the song anymore.
Yeah.
Then it would get procrastinated on, and then I would get pushed like literally to the last minute, and then it would be like, yep, this song needs to be done now, and I would just throw something down that is just gonna have to be good enough.
Yeah.
And I figured out that it doesn't have to be unpleasant like that. If as soon as I get in a state of like this song has become hard to write, I can take a break, do some PQ reps, and when I go back and look at it, if I can look at it from a perspective that says, you know what, this song needs a little more time to simmer. Go do something else right now. Or I can come back and be in a real state of flow and just have that idea of what goes in that spot and fill it, rather than like forcing it and not actually getting the good idea to come out.
Yeah.
And the judge plays a role in what you choose or don't choose to put in a song, which some people would be like, this is good. This is how I make good music.
Yeah.
But
Judge destroys me when it comes to that.
that's what I'm saying. Like his
Yeah.
motivating voice makes me want to like crumple up the piece of paper and like throw it like you see like all the writers in the movies do. Like that's like mentally what's going on in my head. Like I'm just gonna crumple this all up and be done with it. Like ah.
Yeah.
But when I'm listening to the sage voice, which this is the whole purpose of the PQ reps and the mental muscle, you've learned a habit of when you start to feel frustration, when you start to feel that activity has become hard, you get frustrated, you get angry with yourself, you start to beat yourself up. And this starts this very negative downward spiral of emotions. When you're doing these PQ reps that we've been talking about, this builds up your mental strength so that you can now switch and tune in to the right side of the brain and the sage powers that are going to help you be more creative, perform at a higher level, and basically be in that state of flow that is so much more fun and comes with a lot of positive emotions.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's far more sustaining. Because when I think on a long-term basis about songwriting, about having to go through that like mental strife every single time I sit down to work on a song, that doesn't make me want to sit down and start working on it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, it's the equivalent to like working out.
Yeah.
Like you think of it that way, you don't want to do it.
So this teeny tiny little thing that you can do, finding all your toes, that's one of my favorite ones. Just shifts your mind into neutral. So now you're not thinking negative death spiral over here. And you haven't been able to hear the creative side over here in the moment. So as you're sitting in neutral, that's what's going to allow you to now ask a question about the situation and see it from a positive point of view. So a long time ago, somebody said, think positively. And I thought, okay, that means like we just ignore negative emotions and we shove it all down. And that is not how we think positively. So that's why I really like the positive intelligence and the simple little program and the app. It's why I became a coach. And I really believe that this system is going to have huge impact on musicians and other people working in the music industry. And we just talked about one way with improving our creativity, but it also will help with improving our relationships, how we communicate with the people we're collaborating with, how we communicate with people within the industry, and how we make certain deals. And it's going to give you a lot of insight about how other people think just based on the words that come out of their mouth, which is a really cool superpower to have.
Yeah, that's the exact word, superpower. Because if you know that, you're like, you're ahead of the game.
But the biggest superpower of all with learning how to tune into the sage is really the sage's perspective, which is that you can turn any situation, any and every situation, into a gift or opportunity. And that's amazing for getting rid of all of the fear that you've been feeling up to this point. I'm afraid if I start doing this, this is going to happen. I'm afraid if I put myself out there, people aren't going to like me. Whatever it is, whatever you put after, I'm afraid. This sage perspective is going to make that feel so much better, because that voice is going to tell you, you don't have to worry, because no matter what happens, we're going to turn that into a gift or opportunity. And that's how you become an opportunity igniter. So I really want to say welcome to all of the people that so far have been invited to our group and have joined the group. I think it's awesome that you guys have started replying to the prompts. Like I said earlier, this is an accountability group. So on Sunday, it's going to ask what you got done. On Monday, it's going to ask what you plan to get done for the week. Halfway through the week, it's going to ask what problems you ran into and what you need help with. Thursdays are for referrals. So if you've got some sort of resource to refer artists to, Thursday is the day to do it. And if you want to promote something about your music, about yourself, you want the opinion from the community, reach out to us for an interview and we're going to feature you in the group. And we're going to have a nice big discussion around whatever it is that you want to talk about. So as a member of the group, take advantage of this opportunity to do an interview with us and get feedback from the other people that are here. You've been in the group a little bit, Mike. What do you think so far?
It's awesome. I love how there's so many people there already, and everyone's kind of communicating and letting each other know where they're at. Because that's going to be really important, especially for accountability. It's nice to have community for that and know that other people are trying, and to hear their struggles and to be able to offer insight and to have like multiple different insights into some things that you might be having trouble with. So it's such a great resource, highly recommended. Come and get in this group and see if you can ignite your dreams.
Yeah, man. And you'll get to meet Joanna and feel her like amazing energy. She's one of the admins, and you'll get to meet our Brazilian metal god, Guilherme. He is our, I would say that he's like our thrash cheerleader, right? Yeah. He is definitely our cheerleader in the group, and always like, let's go.
Yeah. He is everything rock and roll. Like Gil is 100% rock and roll.
That's right.
I love
it. So invite your friends. If you know other musician friends, invite them into the group. Let's get some stuff done. let's get the stuff done that we said that we were going to do this year, and let's get ourselves out of the way so that this whole process is a lot easier. We're a lot happier, and we have a lot more fun along the way.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. Well, that is it for us. That flew by pretty quickly. So we look forward to talking to you more in our group, and we'll see you guys all again next week.
Later, guys.
Don't forget to tune in Friday for the interview with Mind's Eye. Bye.